What was Ocelot up to after Metal Gear Solid 1? Other than selling Rex's test data on the black market and making an unfathomable amount of money. At the end of MGS1, we hear Ocelot make a secret phone call to Solidus and reveal he's been working for him, and not Liquid, all along. In MGS2, Ocelot works directly with Solidus and even shares a few scenes with him. Is he truly working for Solidus though? Or is there another layer of deception we need to cover? It's Ocelot, so of course there is. Heads up, this video will have spoilers for Metal Gear Solid 1 and Metal Gear Solid 2. Welcome back. If you're new here, my name is Luffy and welcome to my channel. I talk video games and character analysis, so if that's your thing, subscribe and stick around. Special thanks to Zuichi6087 on YouTube for suggesting this topic. Okay, now that we've got the spoiler tags out of the way, Ocelot is absolutely working for the Patriots in Metal Gear Solid 2. We talked about this in a previous video, which I'll have linked in the description in case you missed it, but Ocelot was most likely working for the Patriots as a way to keep an eye on them and also to gain their trust so that he could steal Big Boss's body back from them. BB fell into a coma after getting roasted by Snavid, and the Patriots scooped BB's body up and put him in a nanomachine-induced coma so that he could never ditch their organization again. Ocelot loves BB though, and hated seeing the way the Patriots treated him and was determined to get him back. So everything he does in Metal Gear Solid 2 is likely something he's doing to prove he's trustworthy to the Patriots. Let's go over what those things are. 2007, Metal Gear Ray is captured. In 2007, the Marines were transporting Metal Gear Ray, a prototype for the next generation of Metal Gears. The Patriots decided they'd like to get their hands on the prototype and tasked Ocelot with the challenge. Ocelot reaches out to Grlukovich to suggest they use his mercenaries to take over the tanker transporting Ray and steal it, to which Grlukovich agrees. Grlukovich assumed Ocelot wanted to recover Ray with him to fortify Russia, their homeland, unaware that Ocelot was working for the Patriots. When push came to shove and Ocelot and Grlukovich had taken over the tanker and were about to relieve the Marines of their Metal Gear Ray, Ocelot revealed to Grlukovich his betrayal. He spat at Grlukovich,
Mother Russia can rot for all I care.
And revealed to him,
As I said, I came to take it back. Yes, returned to the Patriots.
Grlukovich refuses to let Ocelot betray him like this though and tries to shoot him, but Ocelot's quicker on the draw and takes Grlukovich down. Snavid is on scene to witness all this go down, and when Ocelot finds Snavid watching them, he's suddenly possessed by Liquid's arm. Quick recap. Ocelot got his right arm sliced off in MGS1 just above the wrist, and instead of having doctors slap his arm back on, he steals Liquid's arm off of his body. He's not using it anymore now that Foxdie got him, and has doctors in Lyon, France transplant Liquid's arm on him instead. I have no idea why Ocelot would choose to put Liquid's arm on him instead of his own. Maybe he thought this was a way to be really close to BB since Liquid's his son and shares the same genes? Or maybe he was just in a silly mood and wanted to trade arms. Either way, he has Liquid's arm now, and when he installed the arm, he also installed his ghost. Liquid taunts Snavid, then steals Ray and destroys the tanker before making his getaway. Unfortunately for Snavid, Ocelot had taken a picture of him on the tanker using a cipher. This picture was then leaked to the media, and Snavid was blamed for the tanker incident. To make matters worse, the Patriots spread the false information that the destroyed tanker leaked gallons and gallons of oil that polluted the area, making the incident an ecological tragedy. The Patriots needed this cover story though so that they could build the Big Shell, an offshore cleanup facility. The Big Shell was actually Arsenal Gear, a giant metal gear built to house the AIs that would go on to filter and control information as the Patriots deemed fit. To avoid being hunted down for the crimes the Patriots pinned on Snavid from the tanker incident, he faked his death using the rest of Liquid's body. Poor Liquid can never be put to rest. Despite being possessed toward the end of his mission, Ocelot successfully accomplished both of his mission objectives: steal Metal Gear Ray for the Patriots and pin the blame on Snavid. 2009, the Big Shell incident. 2 years later, on an ordinary day like any other, the President of the United States and his entourage visit the Big Shell. Unfortunately for them, the Big Shell is seized by Solidus and his Sons of Liberty, which includes Ocelot. What was Ocelot up to on the Big Shell? Why was he involved in this hostile takeover? Ocelot has three main goals during the Big Shell incident. 1. He's there to facilitate the S3 plan. What's the S3 plan? The S3 plan stands for the Selection for Societal Sanity and is a training kernel to test the Patriots AI's ability to control a situation. What's the best way to test if something can control a situation? Try to recreate something that's already happened. That way you know for sure what's happening is due to the influence of the Patriots AIs. The scenario the Big Shell incident imitated is the Shadow Moses incident. In 2005, Foxhound went rogue and took over Shadow Moses Island, a nuclear cleanup facility that housed Metal Gear Rex. Liquid was going to fortify Shadow Moses to use as his base of operations, as he used the nukes on Shadow Moses to threaten the world into giving in to his demands. Snavid was sent in to stop him, though he was also unknowingly infected with Foxdie, which caused Armstead President Kenneth Baker, Decoy Octopus, and Liquid all to have heart attacks. Now, in 2009, Dead Cell has gone rogue and taken over the Big Shell. Instead of housing a Metal Gear, the Big Shell is the cover story for it actually being a Metal Gear, Arsenal Gear. Dead Cell wants to take control of Arsenal Gear and fortify it, much like Liquid had tried to do to Shadow Moses. They're fed this story that there's a purified hydrogen bomb on Arsenal Gear that they can use to weaken the Patriots. Raiden is assigned the mission to stop Dead Cell by the Patriots' AIs, who have a direct line to his inner ear through his nanomachines. Solidus, who leads Dead Cell along with Olga and Ocelot, is Raiden's foster father and is a stand-in for Big Boss. The Liquid was also a stand-in for Big Boss in MGS1, so this still works. Ames, an agent who guides Raiden on to find the president, has his pacemaker shut down to cause a heart attack to mimic the way Foxdie ended its victims. Speaking of Foxdie, Emma Emmerich designs a computer virus that will target the Patriots' AI GW and destroy it, much like how Foxdie was trained to target specific targets and destroy them. Olga was manipulated into the role of Cyborg Ninja.
Ames and the president's deaths. The ninja. The computer virus that mimics Foxdie.
The similarities go on and on. Ocelot was to facilitate this training kernel and ensure everything went off without a hitch, which he accomplished. After the S3 plan was completed, Ocelot was also tasked with retrieving Arsenal Gear and cleaning up after the S3 plan so that no one would know what had gone down on the Big Shell. The public couldn't know about the Big Shell's true agenda. Shockingly, Ocelot messes up these two goals though. Arsenal Gear goes crashing into New York off-screen, and I don't see Ocelot trying to clean anything up to keep the public from knowing what happened. In fact, Ocelot conveniently gets possessed by Liquid and hops into Metal Gear Ray to make a quick getaway. Maybe this was Ocelot's way of subtly trying to sabotage the Patriots? He couldn't exactly get blamed for this since he was possessed against his will. What do you think? Did Ocelot purposefully let Arsenal make a huge mess in New York to make it harder for the Patriots to cover things up? Or did he really get possessed by Liquid? Your thoughts? Something that fascinates me about Ocelot's character is that his devotion to BB isn't really fleshed out in the earlier games. Sure, he supports Liquid copying BB's dream in MGS1, and in MGS2 he praises Solidus when he loses his eye and tells him, "You're the spitting image of Big Boss," but that's about it. It isn't until MGS3 and then MGS5 that we really see Ocelot's devotion to BB come into play. Despite this though, you can still explain all of Ocelot's actions in MGS1 and MGS2 by his devotion to BB. Either the writers kinda had this in mind all along, or they did a really great job tying the later games into this idea, or both. I was wondering why y'all thought Ocelot was working for the Patriots in MGS2, whether he was biding his time and gaining the trust of the Patriots, or if he was truly working for the Patriots from a developer standpoint, and the majority of you voted Ocelot was earning the Patriots' trust. I think that's a really fun answer, versus the developers hadn't thought about Ocelot wanting to recover BB's body, and it adds another layer of deception to Ocelot, which is very Ocelot. Codified commented, "In terms of game development, I believe Ocelot was truly just a Patriot spy in this game, and his connection with BB wasn't really there. But how the story of the series at large turned out makes it hard to believe that he would willingly attach Liquid's arm for no reason, and have the whole Guns of the Patriots plan ready in just 5 years. I mean, this is the guy that is always 1,000 steps ahead and loves BB more than anyone. I don't believe he would side with the faction that opposed him that much and now has him captive." And I really feel that. That's how my train of thought goes too. Ocelot being obsessed with BB clearly wasn't planned out by this point, but on the other hand, why else would Ocelot transplant Liquid's arm on him? Ocelot's such a well-written character that even though his motivations were fleshed out in later games, it still makes perfect sense as a motivation for him in the early games. Abel8831 commented, "I think you can only plan so much of this out. It's possible they were testing the waters for where he could go, and eventually the idea of him being obsessed with BB made for a great and compelling character aspect." And I totally agree. Ocelot's obsession with BB really was a very compelling character choice for Ocelot. I just wish it would have been resolved better in MGS4. Lastly, Ali Jamal 1993 made the comparison, "Ocelot and Big Boss remind me of Andy and Red from The Shawshank Redemption. Both men want to be free from the prison, Patriots, and Warden Samuel Norton, Major Zero/Cypher, and its tyrannical prison reign, Patriots' AIs, and the boss's will, and reunite/live together peacefully in Zihuatanejo as they wish to be forgotten there." I really love this. I've never thought about MGS and Shawshank Redemption, but I can really see the similarities Ali pointed out. It makes me really feel bad for BB and Ocelot and wish they'd been able to achieve their dream for Outer Heaven after all, which is terrible. Those two would do nothing good with Outer Heaven. Still though, it's sad they were never able to live in a world together without the Patriots. Ocelot may have been working for the Patriots to gain their trust, but being possessed by Liquid gave him a valid excuse to defy them every so often. Like with Arsenal Gear, Ocelot decided there was no way he was cleaning that mess up and used Liquid's possession and Ray to ditch out. How can the Patriots be mad at him when it was Liquid's doing? Thank you so much for making it to the end of today's video. If you liked it, share it with someone who wants to know more about Metal Gear Solid lore. If you need more MGS content, check out my Patreon. I upload articles I write on upcoming videos or just thought pieces in MGS in general. You can also support me in the channel by becoming a channel member, or join us in Discord. We're always talking about MGS. More importantly than that though, please take care of yourself and I'll catch you all in the next one. Thank you.